Okay.
Coach, your offense this year has scored significantly more points with Skyler in the game. He has better passing numbers, averaging more yards per carry than Alex Delton as well. What are we missing that has you so insistent on playing both quarterbacks right now?
What are you missing? Well, probably just that you're not on the field coaching. That's probably the only thing.
What would it take for Skyler to win the job outright?
Continue to play well and improve his play.
Coach, K-State's rushed for more than 200 yards against Baylor each of the last 3 seasons. It's the longest current stretch by K-State against a single Big 12 opponent. I know what's happened in the past does not guarantee the future, but what has allowed you to be effective rushing the ball against Baylor in recent years?
Well, I think we were just probably a better team at those particular points in time than we are right now. I don't think you see a major difference in things that we're doing. You know, by and large, mostly the same. And as it relates anyway to last year, pretty much the same team, same players on the field. So it's we just haven't been very consistent. We haven't executed as well as we have. I just don't think we're playing as well as we played in the past. Maybe to put it, simply, kind of the way I view it right now.
Right now, K-State ranks last in the Big 12 in both passing efficiency and passing yards per game. I know it's not as easy as flipping a switch, but how do you go along working to improve those numbers near the midpoint of the season?
Well, I think it's kind of like anything else in life. You just keep, whatever you say, rowing the boat or sawing wood, or just keep on keeping on. You just keep trying to get better and work diligently at doing so, and hopefully, indeed, that that you improve. If each individual, you hear me say it all the time, you get tired of it, but if you got 11 guys on the field, and if each guy gets just a little bit better every single day, then collectively that's a substantial amount. And if we can do that and do it collectively throughout the course of the season, then you are going to be better. And that's what we strive to be, is better. I think we got a little bit better in the second half, but one half doesn't make a ball game by any stretch of the imagination. So still a ways to go. There's no magic to it, at least not in my eyes. I think it's it's roll up your sleeves. It's hard work. It's correct the mistakes that you're making and make sure that you're doing the right things and execute what you're assigned to do.
Coach, it seemed like Reggie Walker played one of his better games, if not his best game last week against Texas. When you went back and watched what he did, what jumped out to you about his play?
Well, he played well, and he played with a great deal of enthusiasm. I think just had a passion for the game.
And when you look at Baylor's passing attack, are they at this point pretty similar to what you see from other spread offenses around the conference, or do they do anything a little bit differently with their own twists?
Well, everybody has, basically the same types of things. It's, when they use it and how they use it probably varies, from team to team. I think Baylor, has, once again, it depends a great deal on personnel then, and they have very gifted, two very gifted quarterbacks. One gets a little more notoriety than the other, but both of them have talent, ability to run. They make you defend both the quarterback in terms of the run and the pass, and then they've got a plethora of running backs that are all very, very fine players, good quickness, et cetera, and they add to the balance in their offense. I think that's they get a lot of big numbers in the passing game, but it's the balance in their offense, I think, that really makes them most effectively in the passing game.
Coach, maybe lost in the defeat was a pretty good effort by your defense. They gave up 10 points, really limited points and yards in the second half against a pretty good Texas offense. And it appeared to me in the second half you gave a little bit different look than you've done in a while with the true free safety, and I noticed Kendall was up at the line of scrimmage quite a bit. What is the defense doing right now so well, and did you kind of change it up a little bit there?
Well, it's within. I mean, we didn't do anything that we haven't done or don't do. It's just how much sometimes it maybe gives an appearance that it's something a little different, but it's not. The schemes that we put on the field are schemes that are have been in our program for a period of time. I just think our guys played well. We responded well to a variety of situations. We were not as effective in the first half in regards to third down situations. We got much better in the second half. But we did play well. Defensively, you take away you can't take anything away. But the offense gave up the safety, and then the kicking game gave up the return. So you're right. It's basically 10-0 at worst case scenario. It's 10-0 at halftime, and you come back and score twice, and it's a different ball game. But you don't get those. You don't get those back. So I think our guys are playing within the confines of the system, quite well. I think obviously we don't want to give up that kind of yardage in the passing game, but then you go back and, if you break it down and you look at, he completed whatever it was, 30 out of 38 or something. I mean, a very, very high percentage of his throws, but you look then at maybe a statistic, yards per catch, and it's somewhat limited. So for the most part, it boiled down to, third down situations. We weren't very good in the first half. We were much better in the second half until their last drive. And in the last drive, the two last drives in the ball game were instrumental. The offense had the opportunity with the ball in their hands to go down and win the ball game, and we didn't do it. The defense had the opportunity to get them stopped, to give the offense another chance, and gave up two or three, I think three third down conversions. So we didn't do it there either. So we didn't finish, the second half kind of like we started it. But overall, I think playing well and playing a little shorthanded there as well.
Coach, a follow-up to John's question. What are some of the things that Alex is doing well that we don't see on the stat sheet that could help explain it to us?
Well, I don't know what the stat sheet means. He's, he runs the ball well. I think he can throw the ball effectively. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. It's just a comparison, that you make between one player and another that plays at the same position. And the comparison is, it's just you take the previous ball game. He comes in, he adds some spark to the team against West Virginia, and advances the ball. We moved the ball some in the second half against West Virginia, and he was at the helm. And he, if you're not doing it with one, you got to try something. I mean, it's either that or I'm calling on you, and I'm doggone sure not going to do that.
Baylor's experienced among the highest rate of increase in the Big 12 in total offense production compared to a year ago, averaging nearly 90 more yards per game. What has made them better this year overall?
Well, a lot of things. Again, I think a quarterback that has gained more experience and having a very, very capable backup has been significant. So they've gotten better in that area. I think having those receivers again that have good hands and great range. You're talking about 6'5", 6'4", 6'6", and so they can make plays on some of those throws that others might not. And I think they brought balance into their offense. I think a great deal. With the running game and those running backs that not You know, their starter not as big as most, but he's as quick as anybody, and the running backs are very effective in the passing game. I think between the two, the 1 and the 2, starting number 6 and number 7, I think they've got something like 28 catches between the two of them, so they're actively involved in the passing game. Again, it just goes back to, you know, having balance and not having to rely on just one aspect of their offense. They can handle it, and they can do a lot of things, you know, with a lot of people. So you don't. It makes it harder defensively to go up the line of scrimmage and say, okay, they're going to throw it this time, they're going to run it this time, they're going to do whatever. You know, you just they're unpredictable in that respect.
Coach, a couple guys we didn't see on Saturday, Elijah Sullivan and Blake Lynch. Do you expect to have them back on Saturday?
Doubtful.
Okay. And also Kendall Adams kind of looked like he may not have been at 100%. Is he, I guess, was that accurate that he's not quite at 100%? And do you think he's maybe getting back to full strength?
Well, let's hope so.
Coach, after watching the film, how much of a spark did you feel like Skyler gave you guys in the second half?
I thought the thing in the second half that, and Skyler was a part of it, but, you know, the thing that happened in the second half, I saw, you know, coming out of the locker room, and I think I mentioned this after the ball game, I thought there was an immense determination, you know, from the players in the program. I thought there was an anger just at their own performance and the lack of success that they were having that I thought carried over into the second half of the ball game. I thought was very instrumental in their approach and how they played in the second half.
Coach, you guys are trying to make it 9 straight bowls this season. That becomes all harder to do if you lose on Saturday. How much motivation is that for you guys right now, getting back to a bowl?
Well, I think it's probably, you know, it's a motivational factor for young people in the program. But, you know, it's not, you know, it's not what you want to achieve, it's how you're going to achieve it, and that's where our focus lies right now, is what can we do to become a better football team, what can each of us do to become better at what we do, you know, players, coaches, etc.
And coaches, back to the question I asked a second ago, when talking about sparking the offense, were there similarities between what Skyler did?
You write what the hell you want to write.
Coach, I was just curious, you know, you've been in the situation before, off to a tough conference start. Can you line up the stage and give us a sense for the team right now and where their head is at, where their mindset is at entering this season, this week?
Well, if I understand what you're saying, Scott, you know, I think there is that, you know, what I've been looking for, you know, I think there's that anger at not anybody other than ourselves in regards to how we're playing, and a determination about what we need to do, and the determination to do it, you know, the very best we can every single day to try to get ourselves better. Same thing I, you know, say all the time. But I see the determination, or at least I did see the determination pop up on Saturday and during the course of last week. As I said after the ball game, you know, we practiced better on Tuesday. We practiced better on Wednesday. We practiced well on Monday and Thursday. You know, and you know, everything's not going to turn around in a heartbeat, but that was taking a step forward and a step in the right direction. It didn't show up on the, you know, the win-loss column, but there were things that we got better at during the course of the ball game, and it's a matter of whether we have the perseverance to stick to those concepts and those values and continue to try to do it.
Coach, in the Big 12, everyone plays everyone. 1 year you've got 5 on the road, the next 4. That's all equal for everyone, but you're in a really tough stretch here with 3 out of 4 on the road, and in fact you open with 4 out of 6 on the road. Does that ever come up, or is it just truly one game at a time and put your head down and take what's in front of you?
Well, I think it's the latter. You know, you kind of have to play the cards you're dealt, and they do it all in the computer. And so I've never seen a computer that would listen to anything that I had to say. So, you just have to go with it. You know, I have never, appreciated the fact that we've always opened on the road. You know, I think that whatever that's been, 9 seasons or so, I would like to have a hand in programming the computer, but they won't let me do that, and I wouldn't know how either. So, but everybody has their. I mean, nobody's schedule is perfect, and so you just, as I said, you just line up and play, and learn how. I mean, that's part of it's part of the game itself, that everybody has to learn how to, keep, as we say, keep the game between the white lines, and and if indeed you do that, every field looks the same, when you get inside the white lines, and if that's where your focus is, then it shouldn't be any different than being any place else.
Whenever receiver drops a pass in a practice or a game, what do you, as coaches, do to promote that not happening again? What do you do to work with them to enhance that ability to be a little bit more sure-handed? I mean, do you have them do up downs, or just talk to them?
Oh, there's a many consequence for doing it, but we don't want to slow down the practice. But the consequence draws their attention to that everybody has an awareness of what of a mistake they made, and it's not just dropping passes. There's a lot of different things that you do, and there's many consequence. But we like to work with tempo, and coaches explain what the mistake was and how to go about correcting it, and then we we always repeat it and go back until we get it right, and kind of the way we deal with it.
When it comes to the kicking situation, and you maybe not expecting to have Blake, how much confidence do you have in the players that are behind him on the depth chart, or is it something where they have so little game experience you won't really know till they get out there and start kicking in a live environment?
Well, if I didn't have confidence in them, we wouldn't put them on the field. That's, we'd find another way to deal with it. I mean, if we put them out there, then we have confidence in them. It wouldn't make sense to have them out there for any other reason.
Who do you expect you would turn to kick field goals against Baylor then?
Say that again.
So if Blake can't play, who would be next in line to kick field goals against Baylor?
Well, we just kicked a couple of extra points. Probably use the same guy. I mean, he was our kicker this past week, so.
But you trust him from farther out as well? I guess that's what I'm getting at.
Well, I will trust him as far out as I see him hit well in practice. Things that he, whatever range it is that he has in practice, and we're comfortable with it, that's what we'll do in the ball game.
I know that maybe we, as media members, make too much about these whole coaches returning places they've been before, but in terms of the longest he's been at one place in his career, Brian Norwood spent a lot of time in Waco and at Baylor. Do you feel like this game means anything extra to him? I mean, I know none of the coaching staff is still there, but are you someone who believes anything like there's these sentimental feelings toward a place you've been a long time?
Well, I mean, it's not as though he's oblivious to it, but, Brian, we really haven't talked about it, hasn't indicated anything. It's been business as usual, and I haven't seen any change in him.